Hello, everyone. This is your girl Sade reporting live from Win in STEM podcast. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 2, where we continue our series of how it started versus how it's going, aka started from the bottom, now we're here. Today, I have a special guest, one of my good friends, Jason Asirifi. We go back to UMass Amherst, our engineering struggle days, but we thank God for growth. So, on my podcast, I like my guests to introduce themselves. I want this to be a time for them to showcase their accomplishments, their success, and just brag about themselves. In the media, we don't really hear much of positivity for people of color. It's always negative. So I want this platform to showcase all the great work that people of color are doing in STEM. So the floor is yours, Jason.
Woohoo! Thank you, Sade, for having me. First of all, extremely proud of you for all the work that you're doing and trying to inspire the next generation of STEM. Lord knows we need inspiration because we struggled. My name is Jason Asirifi. I graduated from UMass Amherst with my bachelor's in civil and environmental engineering with a minor in building and construction technology. Recently, I actually just finished my master's at BU planning, and I work as a construction superintendent. I've been doing it for about 6 years now, and yeah, man, that's a little bit about me. I don't know y'all, so I can't give you too much.
All right, well, we're about to know a little bit more about you when we delve into these questions. So, the first one, so what made you pursue a degree career in STEM? So, did you have any family members that influenced you or mentors that helped persuade you?
Keep it a bean, honestly. In high school, I did a lot of CAD. I actually did 4 years of CAD, SolidWorks, SketchUp, and my teacher in high school was just like, "Oh yeah, you love doing this stuff, so that's what civil engineers do. So when you go to college, go do civil engineering, and you'll be doing that all the time." Yo, that man was lying. He was a liar. I think in engineering, I had 2 CAD classes total in 5 years. But anyway, I ended up in engineering, so I had to finish it out.
So, I know we had a lot of struggles and challenges in school, but can you describe your biggest challenges you faced at UMass or even at BU as a person of color majoring in engineering, and how did you overcome it?
Yo, there was nobody that looked like us, and I mean, you know, obviously, because you was there. But I remember being in introductory civil engineering class, and I was one of 3 students of color. I think there was probably 100 kids in the class. So for us, it was building that community up real quick, and regardless of what year you were, um, either you already took the classes I was going to take, or you were about to take the classes I already took. So when we built that community, we just kind of held each other down, and that also kind of led to us restarting Nesby. So
I remember you passing down your physics stuff and lab work. That definitely helped me in my career because being the only female in my electrical engineering classes was no joke. And just to ask help from my counterparts, it was intimidating. I didn't even want to go to my professor's office hours for fear of what they'll think of me. Maybe they'll think I'm inadequate or I should switch my major. So definitely having NSB and just having a support system helped out a lot. So what were the steps that you took that led to your current role?
I knew I hated design. Civil engineering, I did the first couple classes, and I hated it. I was miserable. But honestly, pride is what kept me going. But I knew I hated design. So I knew I needed to find a career that kind of complemented my personality of being able to talk to people, hang out, have a good time, but also like really be hands-on. So I looked at things that civil engineers could do, and one of the things that popped up was construction management. So I started looking at different companies, and there was one particular company, the company I'm with now, that I met my freshman year of college. Yo, they didn't even give me a look. Like they just kept like, Jason, cool, you're nice and everything, but we'll see you next time. I probably interviewed with them like 6 times, graduated, went to work for a different company before I got another interview with them and got a chance to work with them. And I've been there for almost 6 years now.
Mm. So, what did you think changed from the first time that you applied, you didn't get the job, and then when you applied again and you got the job?
Confidence and experience. I think confidence is a big thing. We, especially as people of color, we sometimes suffer from imposter syndrome, right? Like, damn, am I good enough to be here? Am I good enough to have this job? Am I even worthy to compete with other people? And that's done really because I didn't necessarily have the background. Like, I went to a good high school, but I didn't have the same background as some of my peers in engineering who came from private schools or smaller towns with more elite academic programs. So I lacked the confidence. I'd go and interview. I'm like, yeah, I'm good enough. I suck here. Like, yo, don't go to an interview and say where you suck. Let them figure that out. That's not your problem. That's not to tell them that. So having that, and then also with that confidence, I was then able to get experience with a different company. And once you have a little bit of experience, that confidence is going to shine through. And I was able to talk my way into them hiring me.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched imposter syndrome because imposter syndrome is real. And that's something that I think creeps on people more than they know it. So how do you deal with that?
It absolutely does. People don't even realize they're going through imposter syndrome because, I mean, I think some people are more aware of it, are more self-aware. Other people don't even realize because imposter syndrome does not have to be in the textbook way. Anytime a little bit of doubt creeps in you and you're comparing yourself to somebody else, like in the slightest way, that is a version of imposter syndrome. But it might happen to you occasionally once in a while. So you're like, oh, that's not imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is a bigger thing that is constant. No, it's not. Anytime you yourself and you compare yourself to somebody because they're white or you're black or you know anything of that nature, that is imposter syndrome.
Exactly. Sometimes, like for me, like what try to advise people when imposter syndrome like creeps in, just think of your accomplishments, things that you accomplished in the past. Hey, I did X, Y, and Z. I can do even bigger and better things. Just reminding yourselves like, yo, nothing can stop my way. I got here this far. I can continue to go further.
I think everybody should have a little bit of arrogance, right? Like nobody can do me like I do me. Can nobody compare to the things that I've done and the work that I put in? If I hadn't put it in, we wouldn't be where we are now. And you just look at that in every situation that you're in.
That's very true. So now that you are deep in your career, can you speak on any challenges that you faced and how you addressed them, and if they ultimately helped you move forward in your career?
Um, the biggest thing I probably have learned, and I kind of learned it in college too, but in the professional world more so, it's closed mouths don't get fed. You want to go after it, go get it, say something because people don't know what you're thinking, people don't know what you're feeling, people don't know your background. In especially in the professional world, like people are coming to work, but work is not their life. They have other things on outside
Mhm.
their jobs. So if you need something, if you feel like you deserve the position, if you need help with something, if you need an explanation, you have to go get it and you have to go after it. And it kind of plays back into the thing I said about confidence because you have to have the confidence to do so. There's a lot of people who are too timid or shy or feel like they don't belong, so they're too scared to go ask the question because they don't want to look stupid or have their weaknesses per se show. It's only going to hurt you.
Yeah, that's definitely confidence is key. That's all you need. If you don't know the information, but if you're confident, no one will know but yourself.
That's it. That's absolutely it.
So, as a Black STEMinist, we sometimes find ourselves as the only person of color in the room. Have you ever felt that you had to turn down your Blackness or change yourself to be
Oh,
accepted?
absolutely. I mean, I work in construction, right? It's called the good old boy industry. it's typically ran by old white male. Like women struggle, people of color struggle, and sometimes, I mean, sure that you know me, you know my personality. If I went with my personality on 100 in certain meetings, they look at me like, "Oh no,
You would have been fired.
yeah, yeah, yeah." I would no longer be able to talk about my job because I wouldn't have one. I'd be able to talk about my former job. Um, so yeah, you definitely sometimes have to tone down, but that also comes with self awareness and reading the room. Something that as
Mm,
Black folk as minority is, I think we learn at a much younger age than Caucasian counterparts, because we always have to assess the situation and understand where we can be us and where we have to kind of blend in.
mhm.
So
Yeah, I like how you said we had to read the room. Definitely, scope out your environment, your surroundings, get familiar with the area, and then by little, you can start revealing yourself. Because at the end of the day, the way you look should not determine like your work ethic,
it
you
shouldn't,
know.
but it does.
Yeah.
It should not, but it does. Because then, we, especially in this time and age, right? We look at biases, and everybody loves to say, "I'm not biased," but there are certain unconscious biases that we're all taught. I don't want to say we're born with. We're all taught either via TVs that we watch or our parents, or and not necessarily like they're taught it to us out of malice, but they're still taught to us. So we have to make a conscious effort to unlearn these unconscious biases.
Mhm. So, as the only person of color, right, in your career, what are some great ways to stand out and be seen as an asset on your work team?
Um, well, I want to clarify. I'm not the only person of color in my currently in my job. I am my project. But one thing I will say that we've been very good at doing is those of us who are singularities on the project, we come together a lot. We built a community for ourselves within the job or within the company so that we can support each other. I think that's the biggest way you can improve yourself and stand out, because you may be too shy to go to your white counterpart and go and ask for advice, but there may be somebody who of color who has been in your same position who you may be more comfortable talking with. And once you give you that advice, you can then apply it to your own position. I think having that sense of community, and I'm really big on that, helps you stand out as an individual.
So, what are other ways that you help your job, your employer recruit and retain people of color in your industry?
Nesby, you already know. I still actively recruit at Nesby. I've still gone to almost every national convention since I've graduated, recruiting for them, and I've had the great opportunity of meeting Black folk from everywhere throughout the country, and had some hard conversations with them. Brought some great candidates in, and brought some guys that were kind of grasping at straws, and said, "Listen, you shouldn't be here. Let's take the time. I know I'm supposed to be talking about my company, but let's you and I take a time and figure out what can we do to make things better, or what can we do to find the right path for you, because I'm not going to let you be here in this moment in time and let you waste this
Hmm.
opportunity."
Yes. Like I was telling one of my friends the other day, once when we continue up this corporate ladder, we need to bring our people with us and we need to help them along the way because in STEM, there's not much of us. And the only way that
Not at
number
all.
will increase is if we help each other.
Absolutely, and we need to increase that number, because until we get into the C-suite, the corporate level positions, I mean, there's only so much that we can do.
And right now in the C-suite, I really feel it's people of color are always put in the human resource positions or communication positions, which is not bad, but can we see more involvement in engineering and the sciences and technology and math?
My favorite position that they love to put us in is diversity and inclusion. Yeah, this is our senior vice president of diversity and inclusion. Fam, you only created that position now because of the current climate. Before that, you didn't care about no diversity and inclusion. That's why your company looks the way it does. I get it. You're trying to pivot now, but put us in some real roles of consequences. Make us business development managers. Make us operations managers. Put us in those other positions, and I guarantee you the diversity will follow. Because if I'm a student, graduating, and I see that you have black executives at your corporate level, I'm gonna look at it like, yo, I have a real opportunity at this company. I want to go there.
It's sad. It's so sad. But hopefully, platforms like this can inspire people to continue in the trenches and the struggles and do their dreams of being, VP, president, CEO one day. So, do you have any advice for anyone going or thinking of pursuing a STEM related career, or even specifically civil engineering?
Be hungry. Be hungry. Be hungry. Yo, nah, I'm serious. Yo, go after it. Don't give up. Like, yo, there's many times I had my advisors in college tell me, like, yo, you're not good at this. You should not continue. Give up. Do something else. And sadly, I've seen them give that same advice to some of our friends, and they did leave engineering. My fam, I wasn't leaving. I came, and be stubborn about it. Be sure in the goal that you have set for yourself and keep going after it. Build yourself a community, build yourself people around you that will support you. And I think that's the best way to survive. And go to Nesby. Go to Nesby.
We also, as people of color, definitely reach out to all the diverse professional organizations, NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, SHEP, Society of Professional Hispanic Engineers, NOBUSHE, and I'm sure there's tons out there for every minority group, but utilize your resources. That's the number one key.
Absolutely. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Facts, facts, facts.
Let me ask you this, Sade. What kind of drove you to start this podcast?
So I was thinking about my journey getting to where I'm at and what could I have done differently. And one thing that I lacked was just direction. I didn't see people like me in my fields, so I wanted to hear their story, things to look out for, things to prepare for, and I didn't really receive that. The support system I had in school, we were all going through the same thing. We were all learning from each other. So I wanted this platform to be a way for college students, even students, in elementary, high school, middle school, and even professionals to learn from their peers on how they can be more prepared in receiving a degree or a career in STEM and just to get a seat at the table, once they get to their goals in life. There's not much of us in the STEM field, so we need to increase that number because we do a lot of great things in life. We shouldn't be hearing just negativity all the time. We have a lot of accomplishments that we need to showcase out there.
I agree with you. I'm really proud of this work that you're doing right now, and I hope there's that young boy, young girl out there that hear this and they really understand, like, regardless of the struggle of life, you can get through it. We made it. You know what I mean? And that's really one of the big things.
Mhm.
One of the big reasons I still go recruiting, because I remember being that kid who didn't have the great GPA, and I'll tell you, I did not have the great GPA. But still being able to be successful because of tenacity and my ability to persevere. Like, and sometimes that's what you really need, just to persevere.
That is it. Just need to have that grit and just continue moving forward because there is a light at the tunnel. If there's a will, there's a
There
way.
is a lay, and it comes with a great financial package.
Thank you, Mr. Moneyman.
Nah, I be chilling, yo. That's it. I be chilling, having a good time. That's it.
Oh, well, but thank you so much, Jason, for dropping gems and keeping it real. Do you have any way that our listeners can reach out to you if they want more questions or just to follow you?
I like to be private about my social media. Yeah, I mean, but if you're out there and you're really struggling, hit me up on IG Enlightenment15. Sade, you can post the link to all that.
Oh, actually, do you want to showcase your business? I know you have multiple businesses. I can't even keep up.
So one of my side hustles is I actually have OuRevolution Group LLC. We're a consulting firm. We consult on anything and everything that you could possibly need. There's three of us working together. One of us, well, myself, I'm an engineer. I have a lot of background in business. One of my partners is in healthcare management and operations, and another partner is also in education, but he has his doctorate in mechanical engineering. So you name it, and he's also a DJ. So you name it, we can consult in anything and everything. We're your go-to guys for any problem. We probably have a solution for you. So hit us up.
Thank you. So I'll put all that information into our description for the podcast. But once again, thank you, Jason. I appreciate you. The listeners, I hope you're able to get some gems. And until our next episode, y'all be great and go out and win in STEM. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Deuces.